Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the Trail of Cthulhu First Edition tabletop role-playing game rules by Pelgrane Press. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Listeners should know that this show may include mature themes and scenes. All content, including names, places, events, and so forth, which may bear resemblance to entities living, dead, or eldritch, is strictly coincidental. My name is Rena Henze, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Old Ways Podcast. I'm your keeper, Keeper Rena. My pronouns are they, them, and I am looking forward to some deeper investigation into our mystery in our Trail of Cthulhu campaign, Silver Screams, for 1930s Hollywood. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what our characters get up to this evening after the momentous events of last episode. But before we introduce those characters and the people who play them, I'd like to say thank you to all of you, our listeners, as always. You, the listener, you, the Patreon supporter. You make what we do possible, and we appreciate you and your listening ears. If you'd like to check out what we offer on Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/theoldwayspodcast, where you will find some Patreon-only exclusives, including the Delta Green campaign, God's Teeth, and a few other mysterious delights for your listening ears. And now, let's get to some introductions. To my right.
Hi, I'm Bunny. I play Yvonne, and her pronouns are she, her. I'm a makeup artist who's excited for this opportunity on this film that is turning out to be more spiritually than she might be able to chew. But we're here already, and let's hope more than one of us doesn't end up in the hospital.
More than one. That's a good qualifier there. Speaking of more than one ending up in the hospital, we are still in the missing Nichelle formation this evening, so I will direct us to the end of the table.
Hello, I'm Perry Clark. I am playing Kingston Baiko Garvey. I am the stagehand, set designer, and right now your resident Dr. Riz.
And next to Perry.
Hi, my name is Courtney. I'm playing Sophia Reed. We both use she, her pronouns, and she is a seamstress who is completely and utterly bewildered and possibly never going to be able to look at an egg the same way ever again.
Probably not, considering what happened with said egg. And last but never least.
Hey there, I'm Emily Cummings. I use she, her pronouns, and I play Kitston, or Kit Dubois, who uses he, him pronouns, and Kit is a PA who has a weird mark on his chest now. Who knows how long that'll last?
That's a thing now. Sure, it's nothing permanent. It'll disappear. It's fine. Gasp. All right. So we will turn our camera this fine evening, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on this Friday in June, to one Yvonne Joy, or Yvonne St. Cyr, depending on who you're talking to, as she heads to the hospital to check in on her cousin, who was taken off by ambulance last episode. And Yvonne is, I would say, somewhat concerned at this point.
Yeah, after she kind of made sure that nobody else really needed her at Avalon, she is driving as safely as she can to this hospital, though she is white-knuckle gripping her steering wheel the whole way there. It's hard not to worry about what she'll find if she looks at her cousin's chest discreetly when in the hospital. If I have a fingerprint and Kit has like a whole huge area over her heart, I wonder maybe if it's somewhere in between for her. Worse than me, but maybe not as physically bad as Kit's direct encounter. She'll be muttering to herself as she drives about what this encounter means and him actually showing up to touch somebody instead of just threats, or showing up at people's domiciles when they're not there, or dropping off mail. This is escalating. This is getting bolder. And so she's just going to sort of be trying to rationalize all of this and process it before having to seem normal again in front of nurses and doctors and things soon. But even if there's going to be this moment of remasking and, finding an equilibrium again, it's not like because she's a makeup artist she can't act for a nurse. Like, things are only normal amounts of concerning. And she'll run straight to reception as soon as she gets to the hospital without dilly-dallying too much.
You get to the hospital and you see your Aunt Phyllis and your Uncle Wilbur, who are standing by the reception desk. They look like they've just sort of hastily thrown themselves together, and they're looking quite concerned. And as you run in, Phyllis looks over at you and gets this sort of relieved smile on her face. She holds out her arms to you as if to hug you.
Oh, I will absolutely hug her. Just big, tight, lasting hug. Aunt Phyllis, I'm really glad you're here.
We came as soon as we got the notification from Mr. Moore. Sent a courier directly to the house, which was lovely of him. We haven't been able to go back in yet. I'm so worried. Did you see her before they brought her here?
I was the one who was doing first aid for her until the ambulance arrived. She was breathing. Her pulse was stable. Like, it wasn't like her breathing and pulse were perfectly fine, obviously, but they were stable. Us and a colleague from work that we've been getting along and working closer with on this project helped elevate her head and her, her feet, and wiped the sweat from her brow, and, did all the things just like you and Mom and Grandma and everybody taught me to. So we did the best we could until she could be taken to the hospital. Mr. Moore gave me the rest of the day off to be here with all of you. Well, until they ask us to leave, I guess, but as much of the day as possible with all of you.
Phyllis nods and then hugs you a bit tighter before releasing you. I'm so glad you were there with her and that you can tell me what's going on, because you know how they get in hospitals. They don't want to tell anybody anything. But I guess no news is good news at the moment?
Yeah. I know that Lilith tries to avoid worrying them too much, but considering family background, especially on their side of the family, how much do I feel like they probably know about the types of things that Lilith and Kingston and I can bond over?
Very diplomatic way of phrasing things. So they would know a pretty decent amount, especially Phyllis. She's done some small workings that you're aware of. And the family is not as steeped in it, perhaps, as you and your family have been. But you know that Phyllis is aware and has done some workings.
Some real negative energy has found its way to us that I think we should talk about. What I can tell you here in the hospital, and Yvonne's going to say all of this fairly quietly, not that I think that anyone is probably close enough to really be listening or would care, but just in case. We both felt kind of off. I'm relieved to not also be in a room here with her, but there's also something so weird and unfortunate, feeling almost adjacent to guilt about us both feeling similarly, but her being the one who's here. But she felt cold and her heart hurt and then she collapsed. That's the probably most I should say here that I know.
Was she wearing her necklace?
Do I remember her wearing her necklace when I saw her?
You don't remember seeing it around her neck?
I actually don't remember seeing her necklace on her when I was doing first aid, which makes me wonder if she took it off for costuming reasons.
Phyllis closes her eyes and nods. All right. I'm worried that things are happening to all of you.
Kit's also feeling it.
Kit.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a good way to not be alone right now, and kind of wondering if Kit shouldn't be either. Because Kit also felt wrong today.
Well, of course, both of you are welcome to stay with us as long as you need to.
I can't speak for Kit, but I know I'd really like that, Auntie. I don't know. I just don't know what to do with. I just don't know what to do with this right now. I'm feeling kind of lost.
She reaches over and just sort of strokes the back of your head a little bit in a very comforting gesture. We don't know what's happening, Yvonne, and it's a very scary situation. But the doctor said that she was mostly fine as far as he could tell. That's the only information we've got. She's just unconscious still. So I have to believe she'll wake up soon, and maybe she'll need some rest, but she'll be fine, and we can figure out what's happening, why this is happening. You said you have a friend who is involved?
A couple, actually. But yeah, there's one in particular who helped me with her earlier, who's been real kind and real, she'll sort of glance over her shoulders to make sure nobody's too close before sort of emphasizing the word protective.
Well, I would like to meet this friend and your other friend as well. If you need a place to be that's as safe as I suppose anything can be, you are welcome to bring them to our home.
Thank you so much. I'll definitely extend the offer. I know we were talking about what to do and where to speak and where to be when we're not at work. Because even with stuff going on, we still somehow have to focus on working. We have big wigs from the company, big wigs from the studio coming in on Monday to watch the first day of filming the new film. And so we're all trying so hard to not overwork ourselves while also dealing with this now. But I have to work. I have to work tomorrow because I'm here at the hospital today. So I'll be at the family house as much as I can, and I'll tell my coworkers and Kit to come join us at your place if they're comfortable doing so.
We'll make it as safe a place as possible.
Do you mind if I just sit here with you two until we're allowed to see her?
Of course, dear. And she puts an arm around you and leads you over to a seat. After some time, they take her parents back to see her. They said she can only have a couple visitors at a time. And so you wait for a little bit until Phyllis comes back out and says that she and Wilbur will wait in the waiting room for a little bit so that you can go see her. And then they'll stay with her for the rest of the evening until visiting hours are over. But you are taken back to see Lilith. She's in a room with multiple other women with little curtains set up between. There's nurses moving around, administering to other patients, very quiet. They give very hushed looks to people who get a little bit too loud when they're talking to the people they're visiting. But you can go over to Lilith's bed. She's in the far corner over by the window, so she's got some light, which is probably reassuring for you to see. And she's stretched out in the bed. The blanket is pulled up to her chest. Her hands are just at her sides. She's breathing more steadily now, close to normal, you think. But she's still got that flush of color from when Kingston did whatever it was Kingston did, which is reassuring to see. But she's so still. Her eyes are closed. She's still in makeup from work. Her hair is sort of feathered about around her shoulders. She looks a bit like a sleeping princess in a fairy tale.
Yvonne reaches and gently sort of brushes her hair out of her face. So pretty and like a movie star even when you're sleeping. Oh, cousin. There's no good way to look under her gown without a bunch of witnesses. Right?
Well, she's in the corner bed. So if you wait for the right moment, you turn your back so that your back is to the rest of the room, and you make it look like you're adjusting her blanket or brushing her hair. You could potentially get a quick glance at her chest.
I will do that then, because I think the burning question in my mind is, does she have a mark over her heart as well?
Mm-hmm. So you wait a couple minutes. You just keep talking to her gently. You wait till the nurse that was across from you moves several beds down. You stand up and turn and make like you're adjusting the blanket and moving her arms slightly, and you're able to look under her gown at her chest, and you see what looks like 3 fingerprints in this pallid sort of skin.
Okay. Yvonne will smooth out her blanket and make her as cozy and tucked in as possible again. What have we gotten ourselves into? I'll be back tomorrow after work, and I'll kiss her on the forehead. And then go back out to her parents, because I know that they want to spend the evening with her.
And you go back out. Phyllis and Wilbur go in after they both give you a big hug and whisper, "It'll be all right. It'll be fine."
Can I... Yvonne would go up to the nurse's station and ask if there's a phone that I could use.
Yes, there's a phone.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to call the studio and see if I can leave a message for Kit.
Okay. Speaking of Kit, while all this has been going on, Kit wanted to go and speak to Director Moore, I believe, about something that he learned.
Indeed.
So you make your way back to Director Moore's office. He's still hard at work. He's one of the hardest working people on the studio lot. It's part of what makes him a good director. He never asks anyone to stay later than he stays himself. And he's making some notes on some sheets and handwriting some things, scribbling some things out. And he looks up as you come in. Kit, I've got the call sheets for you.
Oh, great. That's you're ahead of schedule, aren't you?
He looks at the pile of cigarettes butts that are burned out in his ashtray.
Well, I'll get these out to the actors. Can I ask a favor? Small, I hope.
Ask away.
The film that the studio worked on a little while ago that didn't get released, The Yellow Road it was called?
He looks at you blankly. Like, complete lack of expression on his face. The what?
The Yellow Road.
Slow blink. That doesn't sound familiar. You said it was an earlier film?
Well, I don't know quite where it was in the lineup, but I think so, yeah.
And he unconsciously puts a hand to his temple and starts rubbing it. I've been here since the studio was founded. I can't think of a film called The Yellow Road. Was it a Western? Sounds like a Western.
I might be getting the title wrong, sir. Is there, may I go look through old footage? I was hoping to review some scenes.
Yes, of course. And he's got this strange, faraway look in his eyes.
Sir, are you all right?
Yes. Sorry, Kit, what were you asking me?
I need to look at some old footage, some old film footage that we have. Would that be all right?
Yes, of course. Taking some notes for a scene, or?
I figured if Mr. Brewer's showing up, I want to remember everything as much as possible.
Oh, yes, Mr. Brewer. Yes, that's a very good idea, Kit. Whatever we can do to make Mr. Brewer's visit go more smoothly. Yes, of course. And that look is gone from his face now. He seems to have returned to focus.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And Kit is going to step out and head down to what I assume is the records room?
Mm-hmm. All right, so you go down to what they call the vault, where they keep all the film cuts, any deleted or cut footage that they need to keep off to the side. They keep copies of all the films that have been made, pretty much everything that you could possibly want. There's also going to be notes down here, like the scripts are kept, all of that sort of thing is kept down here.
This is so weird. Kit is sort of just mumbling to himself as he walks.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't remember it. And then he's going to start looking through the files to see if he can find anything on that movie.
Okay. So you start looking through the files, and I'm going to have you give me a library use roll.
Okay. I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1. Okay. So it does take you a little bit of time to get through. Again, Trail of Cthulhu, we don't hide clues behind rolls, so it's not like you're going to miss something. But it is going to take you a good bit of time, like when you were looking through the personnel records the other night in Director Moore's office. Luckily, you're allowed to be here this time, so you don't have to worry about that. But you search and search, and you go all the way back to the beginning. There is no record of a film called The Yellow Road. None whatsoever. You find notes about another Western that was worked on. You find notes about a period drama from the 1700s that was worked on. But the very first 4 months from Avalon Studios history, there is nothing there. That's the thing that you find, is that you find there's nothing for those first 4 months, which is bizarre for a film studio to have no projects going for 4 months.
What in the world? Do I know anybody who would have been here at that time working on that film?
Okay. So Director Moore was here at the time. You have the name of the set designer who was supposedly working with Howard, and the note in the file was that he was working with Howard. You don't know what movies Howard was working on other than what he wrote in his letter to Sophia about the Yellow Road. But thinking about it, Betty from Craft Services was probably here. She's been here a while. There's not a whole lot of people who've been here for 3 years, not since the beginning. But there is one of the camera operators, Anthony McKenzie. He's been here 3 years, you think?
I'm gonna go see if I can talk to him.
Okay. So you head out, very confused, wondering what's going on, where you're going to find things here. And what the hell happened to those 4 months? What the hell happened?
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense at all. You find Anthony working on taking down the cameras, and because he's working on Dr. Gravedust, you find him putting things away and re-angling some of the cameras in preparation for filming the first scene on Monday. And he looks up as you come in and smiles, says, "What you got for me, Kit? More stage directions?"
Not much, honestly. I have the call sheet if you were interested in that. But besides that, I had a quick question for you, if you don't mind. Nothing to do with the current film.
Sure, ask away.
You've worked here since the beginning, right?
Yeah, I was the first camera operator they hired.
Can I ask about the early months?
Yes, we had some trouble getting things started. Mr. Radigan, it's his first movie studio, and he tapped the side of his nose. So it took us a little bit to get things moving and to get everything in place. But then we started with a Western. Let's see, which one was that? That would have been Peril at Noon. That was the very first one we did. This was, of course, before we opened up the second lot, which is when we started with The Necklace, which was our period piece. And we went on from there. I worked on the Western.
Do you remember, I don't think it was ever released, but the Yellow Road?
There's a long pause. And he looks blankly at you, and it's the same blank look you got from Director Moore. The yellow road. And doesn't sound familiar. You said it's one of ours?
I thought so, but also I'm pretty new as compared to everyone else here, so I may have gotten that wrong.
Yellow Road. And he stares off into the distance, and he gets this just complete blankness on his face.
Anthony?
Yes? Yes. Sorry, Kit. Got distracted there for a moment. What was it?
I wanted to know if you remember working with someone by the name of Howard?
Howard what?
Reed, I believe.
Howard Reed. And he says it in the exact same tone of voice he said the Yellow Road.
Gotcha. All right.
No, it's not. I don't think so. Was he a camera operator? I would have known all the camera operators. And he puts his hand up to his temple.
I'm gonna reach out for a second and touch his temple for a moment. And see if he does anything.
His hand just kind of automatically comes up and bats your hand away. And then he blinks and loses that stare. Goes, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that."
No, it's all right. You looked dizzy for a moment. I thought you might be falling over, and after Miss St. Cyr earlier, I didn't want to take any risks.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what came over me. What were we talking about?
Oh, it's unimportant. I just was checking in with you about some of your work history. But that's all I needed. Thank you. You're doing a great job.
Sure, Kit. Just let me know what you need. And he shakes his head and looks confused and then goes back to setting up his camera.
I will. And I'm going to head back off to my work.
You head back off to work. Eventually, you get a message saying that someone left a message for you. Said that it was a Miss Joy left a message for you. You get this a little bit later in the evening. What was the message, Yvonne?
Miss St. Cyr is stable at the hospital. I'll swing by the studio after visiting hours end to give you a ride, as promised. That's all it's going to be.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I will take that. And then I think the last person I'm going to try and talk to is Betty.
Betty, okay. All right, so you go looking for Betty at Craft Services. She's packing up for the night. She's completed her contractual obligations for the evening, or for the day. She's been here since early this morning. Betty is a dark-skinned woman with a big cloud of dark hair. She's wearing a blue dress with an apron over it that's a little bit stained and messy from her work during the day. But the rest of her is immaculate. She's got a very cheerful smile. She's a very pleasant person. She loves what she does.
Evening, Betty.
Kit, what can I do for you? You don't need eggs, do you?
No. No, I don't.
Okay, I'm out of those.
How many do you keep around?
Couple dozen.
All right. I was hoping to ask, are you by any chance still in contact with Philip Wilkins?
Philip? Oh, yes, Philip. I haven't seen him since he retired a couple years ago. He was a very nice man, but he just left in a rush. He was didn't even say goodbye. That was not very characteristic of him. Do you need him for something? Do we need another set designer?
Oh, no, there's a form discrepancy I was hoping to talk to him about. Just get that cleared up.
Paperwork. Okay.
As usual.
Mm-hmm.
But you haven't heard from him since?
I haven't heard from him since. No, I mean, you can probably find his address in his personnel file if he's still there. But he always had a nice word for all of us. You know, he never treated us like staff. Always called me by my last name. Called me Ms. Martin. So, you remember those things. You remember those things. He was a nice man.
Well, thank you. That's all I needed.
She smiles at you and passes you a bit of banana bread. Had this left over, just in case you want it.
That's very kind of you. And Kit will take it.
Okay. So you take the banana bread and you go off. Sophia, do you have any plans for the rest of the day / evening once you've finished the incident with the eggs? Or are you just going about your normal costumery? You've been informed that the first day of filming is Monday, so you've got some things to finish up. It's going to be a little bit later of a night, perhaps, than you'd like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she's settling in for a long work night to try and catch up on everything she missed, and will take whatever she has to home to make sure she's on time with everything.
So you work fairly late, and you take things home. And your roommate is out, perhaps dancing or whatever it is she likes to do. But you work fairly long, and your eyes start to get really tired. You're looking at the little details with sewing in the lace, and lace is always tiring. It's almost as tiring as beading on a project, and your eyes start to slump a little bit, just a little bit. And the room gets a little woozy, just for a bit. It's warm. It's been a warm evening. Been working really hard. And you're looking at the fabric, and you start to see a pattern emerging. Maybe it's just because you're tired. That's gotta be it. But it's this pale yellow symbol twisting and turning in the fabric. It makes your head swim looking at it. You see this symbol with these curved lines twisting around. It's almost dancing in the fabric. You see it everywhere that you look in this piece of fabric now, just buried in the threads. You don't know how you saw it before, but how you didn't see it before, but it just sort of wiggles its way into your brain. And you look at it, and you can't stop looking at it. And the room begins to spin, and everything sort of melts a little bit. Like you can see through your weary eyes the walls of your little room melting away. And you see something in the distance. You see a lake and a city, white walls and spires. And you feel the lapping of the water against your feet as you're standing on the shore. There's a boat out in the distance, moving its way towards you, away from you. You're not sure, but it feels so real. You feel the cold air rippling across your skin, the water touching your bare feet. This symbol, you look back down at the fabric that you're holding, it spins in your brain, and you suddenly drop to your knees, screaming from the pain that lances through your skull. And you feel the water rising up around you, this cold, dark water, and you begin sinking and screaming and sinking and screaming as you feel yourself beginning to drown as the symbol dances across your vision. And then you find yourself curled up on the floor of your room, holding your head, the fabric dropped to the ground. Your landlady is pounding on the door. Miss Reed, are you all right? Are you all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I fell out of bed. I'm so sorry.
All right, just be careful. Then you hear her footsteps moving away as you make me a stability roll.
I got a 1.
Okay. So you lose 1 point of stability. You are feeling a little shaken up, a little anxious. You look back down at the fabric, you don't see that symbol anymore, but it felt so real, and you can still feel your mind reeling from it spinning through your vision, and you feel the dampness on your skin almost from the water, and the vision of that city just sticks in your mind.
She'll pull the drawer at her bedside table open and reach in for paper pen that she keeps handy, and she'll start feverishly scrawling out the symbol that she saw and writing down as much as she can. Mm-hmm. She's worried that it's going to slip from her mind.
So you sketch out the symbol as best as you can. The lines didn't quite make complete sense to you, but you do your best, and you write out a little paragraph describing what you saw, this vision, and you get as much as you can before you feel yourself sinking into sleep, hoping that you won't dream. Kingston, are you working as late as normal?
Not as much, because I know I have to go home and make some bags. Mm-hmm. But I will have set up, getting items pulled out of the prop storage for the first scenes we're doing, so that I can start spending tomorrow putting the set together. So the backing, the physical props, tables, chairs, wagons.
Yep. You start setting things up, working fairly quickly. You move through the graveyard portion. One of the first scenes that's going to be shot is one from the graveyard. So you do a look over to make sure everything is set up the way you want it to. And you notice movement in the dirt.
I'll move a little closer and to look at some of the dirt that is to be around the graves we've made.
You see insects burrowing their way through the dirt. There's worms and some ants crawling around. The ants are normal, but there's these strange whitish yellow worms wriggling through the dirt. And it looks like maggots in the grave.
I'm going to sit back for a moment and look at the size of this dirt pile that's here.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly human size?
Well, that's the way you set it up.
Looking at it and then some of the other ones that are around here, does it look like a little higher, a little thicker than any of the others?
A little bit.
Then I will grab a stick and I'll start slowly poking. I'll take a stick and stick it into the center of one of the other ones that I had done. It should go all the way through. And then I will send the stick through this one to see if it goes all the way down.
You extend the stick through and you hear a squelching sound.
I'll take it out and I will stop and look around to see who's around me.
There's nobody else there.
Take a deep breath and then I will drop to my knees and just slowly start moving the earth while I'm still wearing gloves.
Mm-hmm.
From where ideally the face would probably be of the corpse that should be here.
You brush away the dirt from where the face should be. And you see Brian in full ghoulish makeup. His face is pallid. His eyes are closed. He looks very dead. And then an arm shoots up out of the dirt and grabs onto your wrist.
I will yell. He yells. For that brief moment, as you're looking at Brian's face and just absolute sort of terror with everything that's going on, and then the hand grabs and he's screaming.
You start screaming in terror as the eyes roll open and they're pure white. No pupil. And the head turns and looks at you, and the jaw hangs open and then falls apart, and the hand tightens on your wrist, and then it's gone. There's nothing there but the dirt that you've uncovered and an impression from your hand brushing it away. And you're going to make me a stability roll.
Certainly. 3.
3? Okay. So you lose a point of stability for this horrifying whatever it was. And I think you startle back and you fall back just staring at it.
Yeah, I'm probably back on the ground or laying on all fours, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you look in wide-eyed terror at where you saw this whatever it was. And you hear footsteps come running from behind you, and there's Andy and Brian. Real, live Brian running towards you. Kingston, are you all right? What's wrong? What happened?
Look at the grave, then look at them and back at the grave. I think we had a rodent that got into one of the mounds. We're going to need to redo those. It kind of spooked me.
Brian looks at the dirt, then looks back at you and goes, "You? Scared of rats?"
Hey, anybody can be surprised if you don't expect them to be there.
And Andy has picked up a stick and is poking at the dirt. I hope there's no more in here. I hate rats.
Yeah. Well, again, not expecting to find them. So there's probably, it looked like it was a small one, so it might have been just a baby. We need to just be very careful. I'm sure I was looking for a place to make a burrow.
Okay. I'll look for him, Kingston. Just he looks a little bemused. Just, you'll be okay?
Yeah.
It didn't bite you or anything?
No. Thank you very much, Andy, for doing that. Brian, can you walk with me for a bit? And putting his hand on his head and wiping brow.
Mm-hmm.
What did my aunt tell you?
to, he puts his hand over his chest, wear this at all times, and to let her know if something else happened, if I had any more dreams or anything like that.
Forgive me for asking this, because I love you as a brother, but I think you should get out of town. At least
What?
for the next few days until this production's over.
I've got a contract, Kingston. I can't... My family's got to eat.
Say there's a family emergency. I will do what I can to make sure that they've got the money while you're gone. But just, please, get out of town.
Okay. What kind of social skill role would you use here to try and convince him?
I will try to bargain for get my friend out of here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 6.
6. All right. So Brian looks at you and he looks like he's about to laugh, just, at your concern. And then he sees how deadly serious you are. And he nods very slowly. All right. Do I need to take the family?
Might be safe. Just say there's a larger family emergency and just all of you go.
Okay, Kingston.
And in fact, at which point I will just reach into my back pocket, open up my wallet, and take every bit of cash I have and hand it to him.
You're serious.
Yeah. If you haven't heard from me in a month or so, don't come back.
Will you be okay?
I'm already in line. Sometimes it's in the blood.
He claps you on the back and pulls you in for a hug. It's a little more physically demonstrative than Brian normally is, but he's shaken. You'd better call for me, Kingston. You hear?
As do I. You just be safe and get the fuck out of here.
And he turns and walks out. So you finish up your day and head home to work on some now even more important bags.
And have a conversation with my aunt.
And have a conversation with your aunt. Meanwhile, Yvonne has swung by the studio to pick up one Kit Dubois.
I will wait patiently in my car at the gate for Kit to be done working. Still white knuckle gripping the steering wheel and kind of just processing the day. Do I see Kingston or Sophia as they leave while I wait at the gate to the studio?
I don't think you'd see Sophia leave. She would have left already by the time you come back from visiting hours. Visiting hours end at 7. So if you don't leave till after that, Sophia would have already headed home. But you might see Kingston.
Okay.
Kit is going to walk out of the studio with his bag slung over his shoulder, and he'll get in Yvonne's car and immediately just go, nobody remembers anything about that movie.
Wait, what? Okay.
It's like it never happened. It's not even in records. There's nothing about it. Anyone who I asked who was here at that time, it's like they've been like hypnotized or something. They just glaze over.
Okay, that's weird. You mentioned that I probably see Kingston. Does Kingston walk or does he drive?
Bicycle.
Bicycle. Okay. Do I see what direction he goes in when he leaves?
Yeah, he's heading towards the trolley line, which will hop to get closer to where he lives.
Got it. When Kit says that it seems like they've all been hypnotized and that nobody remembers anything, I'm going to turn on my car and try to whip around to go towards the trolley station to see if we can catch up with Kingston.
I mean, you would be able to catch up with him by the time he gets to the trolley station because he's going to have to wait a little bit for the trolley.
Hey, Kingston.
Miss Joy, Kit. And I'll get off the station, wheeling my bike over to where you are. Is everything all right?
I asked about the movie. Nobody even remembers working on it. There's nothing in records about it. It's completely wiped of everything. It's like for the first 4 months of the studio, nothing was even happening at all.
How's that even possible?
I don't know.
No. Yvonne takes a notebook out of her purse and writes down Lilith's parents' address and then tears out that page and hands it to Kingston. This is Lilith's parents' house address. They said that if you want to join Kit and I over there, then we can talk there or even stay there as long as we want or need to, so that we're not all alone, and they're going to make up extra rooms for Kit and I. And hopefully we can catch Lilith up on all this when she's hopefully at the hospital. She still hasn't woken up yet when visiting hours ended. But this is where I'll be going.
Check her?
I did. And she's just going to hold up like 3 fingers over her heart. I did check her. So I think we should talk. I'm heading there. I'm hoping to hijack Kit to head there. She sort of glances to the passenger seat. And I know where Sophia lives, so I'm going to stop by her home on the way to just sort of make sure she knows what's going on. If she isn't already, well, if she's there. But I think that we should talk more. And you're welcome to stay with us if you need, or at least swing by whenever you want. They would like to meet you. So
I will look at the address. Given where it is in the LA proper, how likely is it sundown area?
I think because of Lilith's heritage, it's not likely to be.
Okay. Then I will meet you there. I'm going to go home and get some of the stuff I need, and I need to check in with some of my family as well.
Of course.
Kingston?
Yeah.
One other thing. When I tried to ask anyone about it, they didn't answer as if something hadn't happened. They completely glazed over.
You said it was like they were hypnotized, right?
It seemed like it, yeah. And they did it in exactly the same way. It was just blank.
There are some very powerful people who can cloud the memory. There are some workings that can cloud the memory. Whatever's been happening, they may have done that. Like I said, I'll meet you there, say within the next, I'm looking at the sun and time, maybe within the next 2 hours. It's going to take me a little while to get home.
Of course, do what you need to do. Honestly, other than making sure that Sophia knows where we're at also, this is probably where I'm going to be when I'm not working. I will have to work at the studio tomorrow since I took the afternoon off to be with Lilith. But
I got to be here tomorrow either way to finish setting up the sets for the series.
Okay. Well, you're more than welcome with us over there, and see you later. Get home safe.
You too.
It feels weird leaving Kingston out in public with all of what's happening, but since he's not related to us, I feel weirdly okay about when I drive away and see him in our rearview mirror. Okay, next stop is just to leave the address with Sophia at her house, or a note with her landlady, and then we should get the St. Sarah house, I think, Kit.
We're not endangering them by doing this, are we?
I don't know. I wish I knew. But let's think about it this way. If this tall blonde man who's terrorizing us, if he is already aware of your full name, your past connections, Sophia's brother, my friends that I don't even bring around anywhere who are of more recent acquaintance that he's even been in the bedrooms of when they're not home, stopping by Sophia's house when she's at work. He probably already knows where Lilith lives. Of all the things, I think that's maybe the easiest information of all of this to get. So I don't know if we're actually making this any worse or not, but I do think that maybe not being alone more than we have to be will help. And also, Aunt Phyllis, like she's a little more like Lilith and might have ideas on protecting ourselves as well. I don't know, maybe. Or maybe it's just going to be less scary if we're not all alone right now. If you need to swing by your place and get anything, I'm happy to drive wherever you need to. I just, I don't think our landladies would be very happy with either of us being at each other's domiciles. So this felt like a good neutral ground to maybe ask if we don't have to be alone right now. I know I don't want to be alone right now, Kit.
Yeah, that's smart. Okay, you're right. Let's go there.
Okay.
So you go to Sophia's place, and her landlady meets you at the door and informs you with a very stern look that visiting hours are over, but that you can leave a message and she will ensure that Miss Reed gets it.
I will say, I'm so sorry for coming by at such a late hour. A friend of Sophia's collapsed earlier, and I just wanted to make sure that she knew that she's all right. And she is invited to an early dinner tomorrow, and I'll give the address for Lilith's parents' house. Hand that over to her. So she's welcome over there tomorrow evening for an early dinner to catch up. That's all. I'm so sorry again to bother you.
At the mention of a friend having collapsed, her features soften. Says, "One moment." And she closes the door. Sophia, you are awoken at this point, having fallen into a hopefully dreamless slumber by a knock at your door. Miss Reed?
Yes, just a moment. She'll slowly get out of bed and walk over to the door, bleary-eyed. Hello?
There is a friend of yours downstairs, something about a friend of yours who collapsed earlier, and they left an address for you.
Oh. She'll shake the sleep from her head. Thank you. They're still downstairs?
Yes. I thought perhaps if someone was ill, you might wish to be notified. I'm so sorry to have woken you up.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. Thank you. Sophia will go downstairs, trying to wake herself up and be alert. Yvonne. Hello. How was Lilith?
She hasn't awoken yet, but she's stable. And she'll do sort of the same thing that she did towards Kingston of like 3 fingers over her heart. Stable, but not out of the woods.
I'll keep her in my thoughts. Thank you for letting me know.
Of course.
Can I get you anything?
No, I'm sorry for waking you. Kit and I are going over to Lilith's parents' house because they gave us an invite to be there and to stay. And we've been told that our friends who have been there for us during this at work are also welcome over there to talk or spend time, or to just not be alone if they like. So you're welcome to join us tomorrow or whenever you wish. We're going over there right now, and I'm probably going to sleep over there tonight, at the least. And I know that Kingston plans on joining us over there as well. If you would like to join us going forward, you are more than welcome to. It feels like a good time to stop being alone all the time for right now. But that is completely up to you. No pressure. I just wanted to make sure you had an address and were aware of all of this. And if you need anything or to talk about any of this, that I won't be at the address that I've given you previously. I will be here for the time being instead.
Will you give me a moment?
Of course. I mean, I just woke you, so.
Yeah, she hurries back into the house and packs up some quick things and takes some personal items, and she's downstairs again within a moment with a bag. I think being within good company is a good idea, and she'll follow you outside.
Fantastic. I'm glad you're coming with us. There's a comfort in numbers, even if it's not necessarily a safety in it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how safe we are, but together feels better.
Agreed. And I'll rejoin Kit in the car with Sophia in tow and make our way to HQ at this point.
You have found a safe place you can go where all of you are welcome to be, which is a bit difficult in this day and age. So it's helpful in a way mentally, even if it's not completely reassuring. Kingston, you get home and your sister isn't back yet. She's going to be out late studying as usual. It's going to be a while probably before she returns. But your parents and your mother and your Aunt Marcia are there. And they look up as you come in and they immediately clock you. Immediately.
Not trying to hide anything at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Kingston, what's wrong? Did something happen?
Yes, a number of things.
All right. We are going to talk.
Yes, and otherwise I've been invited to meet with those that are being affected, and, Andy, you might want to come join me with this.
Oh dear, that bad.
That bad. I even used some egg yolks, and it came out bad.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Equally, I'm going to be a little short in paying my contribution to the house fund. I told Brian to leave.
That nice young man. You think he is at risk?
With what just happened this afternoon, yes, very much so. I don't want to risk any of us, but right now the biggest thing I could do is tell him to run.
All right, well, sounds like we've got some work to do.
Yeah, I was considering because I know we need to do some bags. We're going to need some of those feathers from the chickens, and we may need to go into the silver supply as well.
Whatever we need, Kingston, whatever we need. She gestures to the bag of chicken feathers that she put together from the other night.
I'll start gathering those, and I will start going through our cupboards for our stores. And I'll need to get some things from the garden as well. We'll head out in 30 minutes, and I can tell you more on the way.
All right.
And I'll kiss my mother on the forehead. Hopefully we don't have to run from this as well.
So tired of running, Kingston.
As am I.
She nods tiredly and heads back into the kitchen. And Aunt Marcia makes some preparations, pulls some things together based on your countenance, let's say. And within 30 minutes after you've put everything together you need to, she's ready to go.
We'll make our way for the trolley station and head to the address.
All right. Do you tell her everything as you're on your way, or?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, any place where we are not amongst people, she is getting the full download of experience from the last time I saw her, my check-in, whatever check-in she's had with Brian, the events of the day, what the yolks came up, even my vision at the graveside. And hence why I told Brian to run.
There's a long pause. You've never had a vision like that before.
No, I haven't.
And he actually touched you?
I'll hold up my arm for her to see.
I don't think this is a message from one of them.
No, I don't think either. I think something else. Someone's done some workings. Some very powerful ones. You know that there were all the stories about some of the plantations.
Yes, why here? Why now? Why you? Why these friends of yours?
Maybe it's the fact, maybe we're all gifted in some way.
Mm.
At least the ones we're going to meet, they are aware of some of the workings. They may have their own variants of it, but it's in line with what we do.
All right, we'll see what we can do. And she cracks her knuckles. You make your way to the address. You are greeted at the door by a tall woman with straight dark hair, barefoot. And she looks at you and says, "You must be Kingston, Mr. Garvey?"
Yes, and this is my aunt, Marcia Harper.
Nice to meet you, Miss Harper.
Miss, yes. Never married.
All right, well, do come in. Yvonne, Kit, and Sophia are here. They haven't released Lilith from the hospital yet, but, well, all are welcome in this home, within reason. She shoots a glance down the street and then closes the door as you enter in.
Thank you. And I will offer the small backs of cookies that we had made with some rosemary and sage, so should be good. Thank you for the hospitality.
She sniffs and a slow smile crosses her face and says, "Thank you, Mr. Garvey." Into the parlor, and she gestures you in and says, "Yvonne, I believe your friend is here with his aunt?"
Oh, yes. Welcome. Auntie, this is the one who helped me with Lilith's first aid while we were waiting. He's also the one I was mentioning has been very protective at the studio.
She gives you a shrewd glance, says, "I felt something around my daughter when I was there. Was that you?"
I offered a prayer of protection.
It's the only reason I felt comfortable leaving the hospital this evening. Thank you for that.
And I would like you to meet my aunt. Consider my mentor as well. She has been aware of everything that's happened, and I consulted her. So she is up to speed. And for those of you here meeting my aunt, I think the easiest way to think about it is think of Annie from Sinners, but older.
She shakes hands with everybody. She's got a lot of energy. She's a very energetic woman, and she's looking over each of you very carefully as she shakes hands. Says, "It's a pleasure to meet you. I wish under better circumstances."
Agreed.
Yes, it's very nice to meet you.
Likewise.
So, thank you for joining us here, and Ani, thank you for letting us congregate here. It's been a lot happening.
It's a lot in a very short amount of time, which means something is coming, and it is coming quickly.
Yeah. Marcia, was it?
Yes,
Could I show you something?
of course.
I'll leave the room and go somewhere with some privacy from other eyes with Kingston's aunt to show her the fingerprint on my chest.
There is a sharp intake of breath.
My cousin has 3 of these on her chest, and Kit said that he actually physically encountered the person, entity, whatever we're calling him, who's been sort of the dark shadow around us. And he has a big splotch instead of fingerprints. He has, it's almost like wrists width marks over his chest instead of just fingerprints. I obviously didn't want to do this in front of everyone, she says, rebuttoning her blouse. But you seem, from what you're saying and what Kingston's been saying, you seemed like somebody who should see this too, instead of just being described it.
Yes, this is... I haven't seen something like this in a very long time. And she gestures for you to go back to the others. She's muttering something to herself under her breath, as if she's trying to remember something. And when she comes back into the room with Yvonne, she looks at you, Kingston, and says, "A physical touching. This is very powerful. It's more powerful than anything I've ever encountered." She looks at you, Yvonne, and Kit, and says, "It's through the family bond." And she points at you, Kit, says, "You are not family by blood, but you are chosen family. So when you were touched, it affected the others." She's shaking her head.
Sophia's been looking at the lace really that she was working on earlier really intricately, and she's half paying attention, but she looks up. She's like, "I have no connections here. I don't understand. My brother and I were not even from here."
No, but your brother was here first. And that might be the connection of why it's now affecting you. If he encountered this first, at which point King said, deaf listen, is like, "Could this be the honeysuckle drum?" And he's looking at his aunt. Because this has the hallmarks of that story.
It could be, but I don't know. May I touch you? She looks at Sophia.
Yes?
And she reaches out her hand and places it on your shoulder. And she looks at you very intently, sort of rolls her head a little bit. She's looking at you. You have a gift. I can see it.
I don't have much skill in anything.
Don't sell yourself short. You have many gifts, but you are sensitive. You have a connection to the other place. That is perhaps why you are being affected as strongly as you are, like the others are. Kingston, of course, has a gift. She looks at Yvonne and Kit. You are connected through your family bond, but it's possible you also are gifted. May I? And she reaches out to Kit.
Yes.
She grabs your hand and looks deep into your eyes. And she nods. And then she takes Yvonne's hand, if you let her.
I do.
And she closes her eyes and nods. Yes, you are all connected to the other world. Somehow. Others have had dreams. I know young Brian, she nods at you, Kingston, had a dream. And perhaps others at your studio. I don't know. But I think perhaps you are being affected most because you have a connection.
I'm sorry, but what is the other world you're talking about?
She looks over at Kingston.
The worlds of spirits, the ancestors, and other things that exist beyond this realm.
Okay.
I know it's a big ask, but that's why I was thinking that this might also be the tale of the honeysuckle drum. And let me tell it. So long ago, this time story, some say comes from the Old South, some say it comes from our ancestral lands as well. But there was a drummer who was very skilled, and he often played for Oshun. And some would say Oshun touched and blessed him. And one time before a ritual was coming up, he was walking and he found this drum sitting in this patch of honeysuckle, yellow honeysuckle. And he took the drum and thought it was a gift from Oshun that she wanted him to play even more. And during the next ritual, he began to play it. And she normally came down and visited through certain people, but suddenly she came down on someone that she normally didn't. But it was Oshun. It was her witch path, her dark path. She slapped the drum from his hands and bid him never to play this drum again. This was not from her. To play it was to be the path of death that someone else had posed as her to entice him, and swore him never to play a drum again. And that ended the entire ritual. But again, the enticement was there. Whatever bond had been made. Because depending on the spell you're doing, you have to do a payment to maintain some magics. And he couldn't resist. Music was in his blood. But whatever else it was when he found that drum was now also in him. And there is said that there is a night that he came to play it, and everyone on that plantation disappeared. Remaining, from those who could hear it at a distance, was the sounds of drumming, and they found that drum that he had brought to ritual before. And they burned it. It was known as the honeysuckle drum.
A sacrifice for power?
Well, even and gesture to the mojo bag, periodically we still have to feed these things to keep their power up. And great workings are rarely a one and done. Sometimes, if they're kept going, they need constant feeding.
And whatever is feeding on you is something I have never seen or touched or heard of before. It is more powerful than anything I've ever encountered. Whatever this thing is, I need more information.
I had a dream this evening before. I was standing on a beach, my toes in this water. There was a city in the distance with white walls, pillars, and a boat somewhere in between myself and the other shore. But I fell into that dream through a pattern. And Sophia starts tracing it in the air in front of her as best she can. I couldn't look away from it, and it just pulled me.
Where did you see this pattern?
The lace that she's got clutched in her hand, she'll offer it.
She takes the lace, this piece of fabric with the lace attached to it, and she looks at it, she closes her eyes, and then her whole body starts to shake violently. And she falls back, her eyes wild, rolling.
I think is to take the lace back from her. She thinks she's hurt her.
And I will begin to say the same psalm I did earlier today, the 91st, as I hold my aunt.
You hear her whisper, "The pale city, the pale city, pale city, the yellow sign," as she passes into unconsciousness. And that is a great place to leave this episode. Thank you all for listening. We'll see what happens next time. Thank you, and good night.